Moment is the brand new album. It is coming out in approximately 16 days. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel the response has been this time around to the songs that have come out so far?
It's been amazing, really, really amazing, overwhelming. I know, I mean, we feel strongly about the album, of course, and we're really satisfied with how it came out. But we also realized that it's kind of different. It has a different vibe, a different mood. Um, so releasing like the first track, Phantom Days, like a month ago or whatever it was like felt safe. We knew that people will get it if they like us, they will like that song. Simple. And then the second track was supposed to be The Dark Unbroken, but the video got a little bit delayed, so we did Identical to None, which is very much a traditional Dark Tranquillity song, I would say. But then The Dark Unbroken was very different, and that was kind of had me a little bit nervous, you know. Slightly just, I don't know, like, what are people gonna dig it? Is it too soft? Is it too weird? Is it too emotional? Whatever. But it seems like people are digging it, so it's kind of cool. And I think it really shows off like a different side of the album, or the other side of the album rather. And it seems to be going over well. And some of the reviews we've seen, and the only sound checks and playlists and that kind of stuff seems to be responding to it well. Other albums are coming out, in 2 weeks, so it's good. Like, not a lot of competition. I like that.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's really good. Now, this is also the first album with Chris and Johan.
Yep.
So, how was it working with those guys? I gather you actually got a chance to go and record this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, they joined us on tour like 3 years ago already. We knew Chris, of course, from way back. We toured together in the early '90s with Arch Enemy, so we knew him. Johan we didn't know, and he was suggested by Nicholas when he decided not to tour anymore, and he said, like, talk to Johan. I've done covers for some of his stuff, and he's incredible. So he came up and we rehearsed, and it felt fantastic. He can play anything, and so can Chris. So it was just one of those things where everything just felt right. Like, we're roughly the same age. We've grown up together on the same kind of music, raised on the same kind of old school death metal and prog and what have you. So it just felt really, really natural. But going into writing a new album together, that was, a little bit intimidating for us, because of course we want to maintain the sound that we have, worked on for 30 years. So we didn't want to lose any of that, but also, of course, using their skill and their talent and all that stuff. But I think we were very protective at first, so we decided to write a lot of songs first. So Anders wrote a lot of songs and Martin wrote some. So we had material, and I started writing lyrics, and we had vocals and everything, like just demoed stuff, so that we had an idea what the album could be, before opening it up to the other guys. And once we did, we realized that, okay, they have a different way of working, of course, because being in a band for 30 years, there's a certain language that we use and a certain way of doing things that is just ours. So, but then Johan started adapting the songs into his play style, and send some stuff back, and we were like, okay, sounds awesome, but it's not really Dark Tranquillity. Like, we have to kind of scale it back a little bit, and it's like, that's going too far, or that's not going too far enough, and that kind of stuff. So finding that balance, of course, was a challenge at first, but a fun one, and interesting and super cool. But it took a few tries before we kind of got it right, and we were like, all right, this is how we're going to work. And then Johan would come up here, and we would sit and just like collaborate and write and figure things out and solve problems. And Chris was living in New York at the time, so he was just like listening to everything and kind of like, having suggestions. And then he focused more on leads and solos, and Johan more on like some of the songwriting and just like getting the arrangements right. So it was amazing to see things from a different perspective, work with new people that you really respect and love, And of course they have great respect for our kind of heritage and our music as well. So trying to figure out how to do this together was just a joy. And good thing was that we had a lot of time. We started early last year already. We worked all last summer and up until kind of New Year's, and then we decided, okay, now we have what we need, and then we started kind of focus on the recording early this year. And then of course that kind of the pandemic hit at the same time we were in the studio, and that kind of changed a lot of things and turned into a way longer recording process than we had initially planned. But that was all good because that gave us more time and for experimentation and tinkering and all that stuff that we like to do and felt that we needed to do. So it was great. I loved it, and I hope that we can work even closer together next time, because this was a great experience.
Well, excellent. And you partially answered my next question, but it's around 31 years the band has been going. So over those 30 years, has there ever been a point where you've maybe been writing some music or you've been on a tour where you've gone, what would happen if we did that differently?
Well, I think it happens a lot. Or you're thinking about the older songs, like where?
Well, in general.
Yeah. But I think because we've always been second guessing ourselves, thinking that is this good enough? Like, should we change everything? Is this really like the direction we want to go? Like, do we like this? Does it feel good? Like, there's always been like a great deal of insecurity, I think, like from the very beginning, which means that we tend to try out all different versions of a song before we are mildly satisfied, and that we can at least agree on that this is good enough, moving forward. So there's a lot of that actually, where you go like, really, like is this it? Like needs to be better. And sometimes we can definitely go back and just redo something completely, and go like, it's not there, I'm not feeling it. It's good. Like it has all the ingredients that I like. It has everything that I dig about, our songs, but there's something missing. And then you just scrap it and you start from all over again, and then you will find something that inspires you again. And what was cool was that since Johan was kind of doing this for us, he would listen to a song and he would be like, yeah, but how about this? What about if we change this this vocal melody that comes from the middle section after just the solo part, and that becomes the chorus instead? And we were like, yeah, maybe, and that became Standstill, for instance, that kind of thing. So it does happen where you those unexpected things that just pop into your mind changes everything and becomes new, as it should. Because being bored and being kind of feeling that it's predictable, it's the last thing you want.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Now, I remember from, I think it was last time, you mentioned you're quite a big fan of vinyl records.
Yeah.
So, if you were to pick 3 that you couldn't live without, which would you pick?
Well, there's a few, there are many, but I think the ones that I spin the most or that I kind of treasure is probably it's probably Headless Cross by Black Sabbath. It's my favorite Black Sabbath album. Pampered Menial by Pavlov's Dog. Mm-hmm. Also an album that took forever to find, the best possible version of it. And then probably Peter Gabriel's So. Mm-hmm. Because I have it's like a 45 RPM remaster. It's one of the best sounding albums ever made, and that vinyl version is the absolute best. So I think those 3 are like some of my favorites that I that I always keep because I don't know if you see it, but my shelf is kind of small and I need to kind of relocate some stuff so that I can just have room for just the ones that I need close to my turntable, and the rest is in my attic or in other rooms and stuff. But those are important ones.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. So coming back to the album now, what would you say was some of the main inspiration that struck you when you were writing the lyrics this time around?
I was just, I don't know, confused and scared, not scared, but confused and angry at where the world is heading, what's going on in Europe, here in Sweden, and mainland Europe, and Britain, but also what goes on in America. Just like what the hell happened? Like, why did we end up here? Like, what is it about us that makes us so blindly follow stupidity sometimes? Or what is it that is drawn to the things that we're drawn to? And why is it emotion rather than fact or reason? What is it? Like, why do we choose these things? And I'm just trying to make sense of it without like going political or anything like that. It's just like, what is it about us as people? What is it that attracts us to a certain idea or an ideology or a faith, and how we deal with it? And also, what is it that informs our decision going forward? What is it about our past, our experience, our upbringing that inform? And when it comes to the decision in the moment, so to speak, where you have to kind of decide where you want to go forward, like what direction you take, what path you walk down, that kind of thing. Like what is it that alters your way of thinking, maybe, or what is it that changes everything so that you learn something new and you realize something fundamentally life altering? Or do you just like go the most obvious route and just like based on what you feel is comfortable or easy, that kind of thing. So that was my thinking, or like my initial plan for the album. And then all the songs are very different, but that was kind of like the basis and the kind of formation of it.
Mm. So what's something you want to see less of in the music industry?
Less of? Wow. I'm a very picky about what I like and what I look for. So I don't get exposed to anything I don't like, right? So I don't listen to the radio, or I don't listen to like playlists on Spotify or anything like that. I try to be very much informed. So what I need less of, I think, like fun music, like where someone's idea of a good time is kind of finds its way onto a record. That's very rarely fun. There are a few exceptions, but I don't know if I need that. I could do without it, and I don't know. Oh man, I mean, there are also, I think, that self made up genre, where you play pagan folk, forest, power metal or whatever. Yeah. I could do a little less of that. Like I'll be fine, if you don't make up your own genre before you probably make up, like before you start a band, you have the genre made up already, and then you kind of fit yourself into it. Yeah, I could do without that. Just stick with the basics and do something with it rather than invent something or come up with something that just like, I don't know. It seems very forced and weird to me. I'm not saying there aren't any good bands that have weird genre definitions, but it's not for me. Maybe I need more pretentious music, actually, because I like that. I like when it's it punches above its weight or whatever you call it, like that, where you try more than you know. And I like when that happens. So a little less of that, comfort or spontaneous thing, like something that reaches a little bit further. So safe music is boring, right? So less of that.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Now, something I noticed as well earlier when I was doing my research is you've been quite enjoying a little bit of gaming recently, particularly, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, Ghost of Tsushima or something.
Tsushima, that's a Japanese, yeah. Oh yeah, I have and I play a lot of video games. I really do, and I love it. Ever since I was a kid, I had relatives who lived in England and whose dad worked for NASA, so they had computers in 81 or something like that, when I was 7. Then I discovered video games, so I've been a fan of it ever since. But it's such a fantastic art form, not just for passing the time or getting lost in some other world, but I just love the look, the music, the animation, the art direction, all that stuff. And Ghost of Tsushima, I think it's one of the most gorgeous games in the at least recent couple of years, and it's so amazing. Looks great in HDR 4K, on a big ass screen. Oh man, it's incredible. So this year, now that we release the album in 3 weeks, and there will be no shows, how am I going to spend my time? So many games coming out, so I don't have a problem. I'm not going to be bored for a second the rest of this year or beginning of next. It's all good.
Excellent. Will you be buying Cyberpunk, or is that one that's off the list?
I've already have it, just waiting for it to be installed on my hard drive. Yeah. And I bought the new 3080 GeForce card only for that. I haven't received it yet, but it should be coming soon. So yeah. Of course. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming soon. I'm playing. Yeah. Actually, I have kind of a sponsor thing going where this company sends me all the new games that comes out, which is a very, very, very good thing. That it means I play everything that comes out, at least for a while. Maybe I don't finish every game I get, but I have every new game. So I've been running around London in Watchdog Legions the last couple of days, and I play a lot of World of Warcraft also, which takes up way too much time, but what am I going to do? It's all good. I managed to kind of combine, my love for music and video games. I was doing streaming with Bucket Open Air have the gaming channel, so we would playing Call of Duty while answering questions about Gothenburg death metal. It was pretty sweet. Killed a lot of our fans multiple times.
Oh wow! Oh, that's excellent. I didn't actually know about the gaming thing with Vakken. I knew about the live stream, but I didn't know they're actually doing a gaming one as well.
Yeah, they do it on Twitch. So they do it every week or multiple times a week. Oh. And these two guys, they're their job to just game and talk to metal guys. Pretty sweet.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant. Something else I've noticed as well is, forgive me if I get this wrong, but I believe you're an appreciator of good, nice ales. Is that right?
I am. I've been a beer drinker since I first tried it. But so yeah, and the last since 2002 or something like that, I've been into craft beer, that kind of thing. Discovered it in America through Sierra Nevada and when that became a thing in America, when they realized that all beer doesn't have to be Budweiser or Coors or whatever. Then eventually it came to Sweden and of course, the rest of Europe and all that. And now it's super exciting. And I love it. I brew a lot of beer at home, and we've done some collaborations together with breweries here from Gothenburg. We did an Atoma beer, and we did a Dark Tranquillity, which was a New England IPA, and so it's I love it. I'm drinking a Stigberg. It's iconic right now, which is brewed down the street from here, not 5 minute walk from here, and it's actually honestly like one of the best breweries in the world, and I have tried them, most of them. So it's fantastic, and it's a great. I mean, it's just such a interesting and fun kind of culture, around craft beer all over the world, and of course it becomes something that I'm really passionate about, and it's perfect when you're touring. It's like, okay, you wake up in the morning and you check out like what are the breweries around here, like where can I go to kind of sample some cool stuff, what are the great bars, great microbreweries. So I've been to so many amazing places all over the world the last couple of years that it's been fascinating. So I love it. I mean, it's a big passion, not just because it's great to drink beer, but it's like I love the whole process of it and everything behind it.
Oh, excellent. Is there going to be one for Momentum, or
we haven't decided yet because of COVID-19, just like everything is kind of on hold. Obviously, like bars and stuff are open, but it's only like half capacity, or if that even. So the brewers are really struggling. So releasing something now and kind of like inviting people to a bar to drink our new beer would be very irresponsible. So we're gonna do it. I'm sure I have some things planned, but not yet. It's gonna be a later thing. Like when we can play again, maybe we'll do something for that first show or something like that for here in Sweden.
Coming on to sort of plans going forward, is there a plan is there plans for shows when things open up, or are they not on the table at the moment whilst things
We're still planning. I mean, we are. Why not? I mean, we have to do something, and also we don't want to be left behind once everything if everything opens up sooner than we expect or whenever we expect. So we are planning stuff just so that venues know that we want to go out, and we are talking to bands, support bands, all that stuff. So there are plans, but we just don't know when. We were talking about maybe spring, but maybe that's not going to happen. So hopefully, if festivals happen, then we can tour in the fall next year. But yeah, there's no certainty. So of course we expect the worst, but we hope for the best, and but we're still kind of working on things. But the closest thing we're going to do is we're going to do a live stream concert on the 21st. So the day after the album comes out, we're going to play the entire album from a beautiful venue here in town where we shot the video for Dark and Broken. But we're going to do treat it as the first show of the tour, basically. So all of our crew is coming in from Portugal, so we're going to do a proper thing. We haven't seen each other in a year, and we're just going to do and we're going to be able to pay them hopefully, and and make a proper show. So that's going to be great, and we're going to announce it next week. And so you get in there and pre-order tickets or whatever, and so that's going to be cool. And that's what I really look forward to. It's going to be we're going to be on a stage together. We're going to play music, in front of no one, but it's still as close as we can get to anyone this year. So that I look forward to, and then after that there will be a giant void opening up of emptiness and nothingness, and that's going to be weird. But for now, I've just been keeping so busy that I haven't really thought about what's going to happen. But in 3 weeks' time, things are going to change.
Hopefully so. Hopefully within the next few months, things are going to change, and it's going to we hope.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. And that answered my question about the live streaming thing, because I've seen a lot of other bands doing it as well.
Oh, me too. And I love it. I think it's great if it's done right, and our intention is to do it right and do it the best way possible. And we've been working on it for months now, and I think we have it's going to be super cool. I have high hopes.
Excellent. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Really
cool.
So I'm going to round things out now with a fun little question to end with. Do you prefer more sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Savoury. That's no problem then. So if you had to put together your own plate of nachos, what toppings would you pick?
Well, it's all super spicy stuff. Tons of jalapenos, a lot of vegan meat substitutes. A lot of artificial weird cheese, some new stuff that came out in Sweden that's fucking fantastic. But and of course onion and yeah, all kinds of, you know, fried up vegetables. I do a mean nacho plate every Friday. It's the tradition around these parts or in this place. I love it.
Oh, that's superb. That's superb. Well, it's been so great to catch up with you. I've loved chatting with you, and
You too, man.
All the success with Moments. As before, thank you so much for your time.
Cool, man. Good to see you, man. Take it easy.
Take care.